The Gypsy Box by Rob Ferrari. A cool autumn breeze swept across the quiet countryside as a band of gypsies set up camp on the outskirts of a small farm. The gypsies had been entertaining the residents of the nearby village of Slavnia and sought only a night's refuge before continuing on to a new destination in the morning. The farm belonged to Darian Barkovsky, a bitter and cynical man, whom little did they know held great contempt towards trespassers and gypsies. It was late in the evening when the glow emanating from the gypsy campfire caught Barkovsky's attention. He was an overweight, middle-aged man whose capacity for simple human kindness had receded along with his hairline. Anger coursed through him at the thought of someone trying to avoid paying for a room at the inn by camping without his consent on his land. His rage was further fueled by the prospect of the trespassers making use of his crops for their meals. He retrieved his rifle from its resting place over his mantle and set out towards the campsite. Barkovsky approached the encampment with anger welling up from the core of his soul, but when he saw that the trespassers were gypsies, his anger twisted into utter hatred. "Get off my land, you filthy devil lovers!" Barkovsky screamed as he waved his rifle in the air. A single gypsy emerged from one of the makeshift tents that had been erected to shelter the troop for the night. The gypsy was tall and slender, with long black hair tied back into a ponytail. His clothes were flamboyant yet dingy. An air of mystery surrounded him. He approached the raving landowner without showing a hint of fear. "I said get off my land!" Barkovsky barked as the gypsy stood before him. "Good sir, may I ask what the problem is?" the gypsy asked calmly. "Who the hell are you?" Barkovsky growled as the veins in his forehead pulsated. "My name is Gregor Dargosi, and I am the leader of this troop," replied the gypsy as he motioned towards the tents. "Well, get your little group of blasphemers off my property now!" shouted Barkovsky. "We are causing neither you or your land any ill. What harm is there in allowing us to stay the night?" Dargosi inquired. Barkovsky's eyes narrowed as he scowled at Dargosi. "Your presence alone befouls my land, and if you don't leave now, I start shooting," Barkovsky threatened as he pointed his rifle in the general direction of the camp. Realizing that hatred and bigotry, the likes of which the landowner possessed, cannot be reasoned with, Dargosi raises his hands in a gesture of concession. "As you wish. We'll leave," Dargosi states as he slowly backs away from Barkovsky, keeping his hands raised. The other gypsies had been peering out from their tents, observing the exchange between Barkovsky and Dargosi. Dargosi motioned for them to come out and begin gathering up their belongings and supplies. They would have to find rest elsewhere. Within minutes, the gypsies' wagon was loaded and they were ready to depart. Barkovsky stood watch all the while to ensure his crops remained untouched. The gypsies boarded their wagon as Dargosi took the reins. "I have something for you," Dargosi said. He reached under his cloak and pulled out from under it a small silver box, which he then tossed to Barkovsky. Barkovsky caught the box and began to examine it, his curiosity piqued. As the wagon started to pull away, he greedily wondered what the box could contain. "The box contains what you deserve for your gracious hospitality towards us," snickered Dargosi, as the wagon faded from view, enveloped by the darkness of the night. Barkovsky's thoughts suddenly darkened, as he realized that he had shown the gypsies no hospitality at all. He had, in fact, been quite inhospitable. A wave of panic overtook him as he hurled the box to the ground, convinced that it held his doom. In a blind panic, Barkovsky began to run wildly in any direction, not caring where he was going as long as it was away from that insidious silver box. After running in a fearful frenzy for what seemed like an eternity, Barkovsky stopped to catch his breath. His eyes shot open in terror as he saw lying at his feet the mysterious gypsy box. Deciding to face his fate with at least some shred of dignity, Barkovsky slowly reached down and hesitantly picked up the box. He stared at it for a few moments, trying to muster the strength of will to open it. With a lump in his throat and terror freezing him where he stood, he thrust open the lid of the box to find it contained nothing.